what are some of the examples of successful CSR initiatives that have empowered young people in India? Any particular examples you would like to use at Cognizant, or any examples that you've seen across the globe with your vast experience that you have?
I can cite like a couple of examples from my experience and from Cognizant.
Okay.
So in the first question, when you were to your first question when I responded, right, like I talked about a program called Career with a Purpose, designed by the Junior Achievement NGO. I I live in Coimbatore, and I mentor and then help a lot of NGOs in and around Coimbatore. And when I'm part of an NGO, I mentor an NGO, like I support an NGO which focuses on road safety initiatives. And this NGO's trustee and the board of trust are like all stalwarts of the district of Coimbatore. They run like big organizations of Coimbatore. And one of the board of trustees meeting that happened, I was there. And when I stepped out of the meeting room, I saw somebody waiting outside, and I faintly remembered that individual. And I walked to him and then I asked, like, hey, I somehow met you. Somewhere I have met you, and I don't recollect. And tell me your name and then what you do. And he said, like, sir, you may not remember me, but I remember you very well, because uh, 8 years before, when I was doing my 11th grade, you came to my school and you did a session on careers with a purpose, guiding me on my career decision. What should I be doing, and what is that required? And that's when I realized that like there is something called corporate secretariatship as a curriculum, as a career that is there. And then I decided that I will best fit there. I took up my UG and PG course in secretariatship, and right now I am the corporate secretary to one of the leading organizations in Coimbatore, and I am the personal corporate secretary for the chairman and managing director of a company in Coimbatore. And what more we can say, right? Like 8 years before I had done that program, and not knowing that there will be such an impact, right? But the best practice that I did this, like I personally was able to reach to like 6,000 to 7,000 students in a span of like 1.5 years. But I started through our employee volunteering program. I started training more and more volunteers. I trained around like 1,000 plus volunteers, and I took that same program because it had a beautiful impact to the community, right?
Yes.
And when we talk about like skill education, experience, and knowledge, so they need to take like somebody who has completed engineering and they had an aspiration to become a doctor into the medical services. It's not the right choice that they've made. They wasted like 4 years. So we did this program for 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade students, so that they do the right choice of education moment they come out of the school. So I decided that like I cannot really make the whole world change if I do myself. So I started training more and more employees of Cognizant. Around 1,000 people I would have trained, and we took this program to 2.5 lakh students across states in India. So this is through employee volunteering, through without even a CSR contribution here, right? Like through the skills and passion that employees have, we were able to make a change. And I saw one story, one like it's like proof of the pudding is proof of I think that's the saying, right? Like I was able to see that individual who was transformed where we have done 8 years before. I'm sure like there will be multiple other students who would have benefited through that session. So that's one example that I could cite through volunteering and through CSR. How can corporates make a difference in steering the right direction to the students at the right time and leading them to a best career in the earliest stage, not knowing like 10 years down the lane, 20 years down the lane, there will be a career burnout. Am I fitting in this career? Should I change my career? What is my passion? Not knowing all of them. So that's something that we see. And a couple of other things that we do in Cognizant is that we we do a lot of such programs for school children, and we also realize that a lot of students whom we excite, whom we ignite their minds, and they get excited and get really excited about their career, like graduation, all of them, they could not pursue because of financial constraints. So we started to introduce a scholarship program, and it is again not through CSR, but through our employee volunteering donations. Through a payroll deduction process, we started as minimum as 100 rupees from your salary. You can subscribe, and people donate. And so far, we are We have given Dream Graduation to 2,500 plus students. Every year, 400 students are being onboarded, and Dream Graduation is being given. And we don't just give financial support. Our employees continue to skill, mentor, and a lot of them have joined multiple corporates, and few of them prefer to join Cognizant also. And they are with us right now. Somebody who I mentored in school, is right now sitting next to me as an employee. So look
Correct.
at the cycle completion that we were able to make a difference. Right? So corporates have to really start looking at a holistic development,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
And uh, right KPIs have to be introduced everywhere. If it is school education, if it is higher education, if it is employment and skilling, right KPI, the key performance indicators are very essential to measure the impact that we do. Every penny that is spent is hard-earned money from the employees of companies that
Yes.
made profit. And what can we give back to that employees who hard-earned and then got that profit, which is going to be given back to the company community as a 2% CSR?
Correct.
That is something that we have to rightfully invest in the places, measure, and then measure by
Absolutely.
clear metrics.
Absolutely.